Cole. Cole.
Hello, yes.
Is my mic not on? Welcome back.
Yeah, how's it going? I'm happy to be here as always.
Is Let God Sort 'Em Out the best hip hop album of the year?
Oh, yes, 100%. Is it the album of the year? Just generally speaking, probably. I think it is. I think it's one of the best rap albums I've heard. Can I say this century so far? Like,
Well,
I think it is the album of the decade, actually.
Wow. Okay. I did speak to a very famous, well-known, beloved rapper who said it was top 5 all time, which I thought, like, wow, that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
But it's definitely up there.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard to have the conversation in the moment and place it historically, of course. And I think we're all just very excited. And I love that the initial hype hasn't died down. I'm just like, I'll put on another album. I'll put on JID. I'll put on whoever comes out.
And you
I'm
go
like,
right back to it.
You want to go right back to it. It's crazy. Like it's just addictive. And yeah, I don't know. It's like I was doing a deep dive on Daft Punk actually this last week and prepping for an episode of Dissect. And, you know, they had Random Access Memories in 2013. And it was like this capstone on this historical band. And it was like, if it is their last album, which I think we're all safe to say that it's going to be. And it's like, wow, what a perfect send off, you know, arguably their best work being their last. And you have this whole history behind them. And I feel like that's what Let God Sort 'Em Out is. It's like it's their capstone on a historic career, and it's arguably their best album. And it deserves all the awards, whether they'll get them out, who knows, but like, fuck, it's so good.
What are your favorite songs?
They always change. This is a mark of a great album. Like my favorite songs when I first, you know, Chains and Whips was obviously like not even, you know, excluding the Kendrick verse, even like I love the beat. I love, you know, that was just an immediate favorite. But now it's like, and also like FICO, I actually didn't really, it was one of my lesser songs on first listen too. And now FICO's like maybe at the top at this moment. I also like All Things Considered. I love that song.
All Things Considered was low on the totem pole, and then like almost skippable for me at first, but I don't do that with this album. And I start from the beginning and just wait till I get to the end, which sometimes it creates a problem because I just start listening to the same 5 songs in a row. Yeah. But yeah, it unlocks so many different parts of the work, which is what great art does. And I feel like because we are, at first I was like, is it a prisoner of moment thing? But I'm like, there's no album that's done this or had a chokehold on my attention. I can't even think about it within the last decade. So that's why I came to the conclusion, because there's been albums I listened to months straight, right? But I don't know when I'm going to stop listening to this album.
Right.
Like that's how it feels.
It's like GNX to me. Like it's like I had the same relationship with GNX where it's like that's all I want to listen to for months, and I still want to listen to it even a year later. And I feel like we're going to be having the same conversation about this album.
I think EBITDA, FICO and EBITDA for me grew, not favorites first off, second listen, third listen, and then like 20th, 30th listen, like, oh my God, these songs are just as great as everything else. I think Inglorious Bastards grew on me. Yeah. Also.
That's a perfect, like they needed that energy. That's a perfect energy boost towards the tail end of the album, where again, like when an album is this perfect, you have to start looking at everything, like the sequencing, what songs, how the songs relate to each other, how they feed off each other. And to me, like Inglorious Bastards is like they put it at the perfect spot because you needed that just last boost of energy towards the end of the record. Also, like my 6-year-old daughter loves So Be It. Yes, I had a very proud dad moment yesterday where she asked me, does So Be It have a music video? So then we sat there and watched the So Be It music video together. Like, this is awesome.
That's amazing. Oh, that's great. And that video is ridiculous. It's like so it's a beautiful visual, and the aesthetics of the visuals match with. Have you seen the live show too, or no?
No, they're coming 2 weeks from today or something to San Francisco. I'm going to go see that.
Their entire aesthetics are just flawless. It all works on every single part, and it's just outstanding.
So you did a very Cole thing, I think last week, because we went through FICO and I was like, oh, he mentioned all the numbers from 1 to 9.
Yeah.
I figured it out. And then you were like,
right.
no. He's adding up all the numbers to 48, which he says in the
Crazy.
What did you?
Crazy.
I didn't even think to add the numbers up. Why did you even?
Well, I can't take credit for this one because someone posted on Reddit the theory, and so I asked his permission to make the video, and if you look at the video, I credited him. So I can't take the credit, but it's
he commented on our FICO thing too and told us that like, I just found out that the shit all adds up to 48, and there were like it was like the most like comment on our FICO thing. Let's just watch that real quick, just so the audience also sees this clip right quick.
And Malice's FICO verse matters.
Go get a Glock 27, fit snug in the waistline. Both sticks came with the drum. I was 5'6", shoulder with a chip.
Malice tells his true crime story in the streets of Virginia Beach, weaving in a string of numbers: a Glock 27, his 5'6" height, powerlifting 2.2 pounds or a kilo of coke, and more. 8 out of the 16 bars contains a number, and when you extract each digit from the first 7 bars, you get 2, 7, 5, 6, 2, 2, 2, 1, 3, 9, 9. Add these numbers up and you get 48. Why? Because it sets up the final number in the verse's final line.
My story gone with the first 48, then it's on Dateline, cause this really shit I done.
The first 48 is a true crime TV series, so the numbers weaved throughout Malice's own true crime story are one extended setup for the verse's masterful final punchline. Here's why every number in Malice's
ingenious. And that's the beauty and art of writing and rap, is that it has that capability. And what I wanted to just comment on is that it's there. I just love that it's there. It's like it was in your face. Touré's the one that brought it up, and I was like, I don't know. I think at the time I said, I don't know. I'm gonna let Cole figure it out. I think in real time I was like, that's some shit Cole gonna figure it out, because I'm like, I have no idea what's going on with these numbers, but Touré was like, I think there's something going on with these numbers.
Well, yeah, that's cool that you guys just even had the premonition. I'm just like dog whistle trained to when I hear numbers in a rap verse now. I'm like, I'm surprised I didn't catch this first, because like I'm usually going straight to my writing pad to see like, okay, what's it add up to? What's the significance of the number? Like, because I mean, rappers historically have done this. Like I was listening to Nas's One Mic, and he's playing on the Jesus's 27 and the death of Jesus, and playing with numbers in the I think it's the second verse. And so it's, obviously the nostalgia Kendrick verse, but it's like, or even like Jay-Z's Blueprint on You Don't Know, where he's like, add that one up to the one I said before. You're now looking at one smart, but you know what I mean? It's like this is a motif throughout hip hop history. So it's like, yeah, is it a coincidence? Maybe, but like also rappers do this, so I think it's more than valid.
Gotta do the math.
No, I mean, there's no way that it's accidental. And I think even my friend Ebro was like, why would you ask? I'm sure this is purposeful. It couldn't be subconscious. It would have to be purposeful. There's no way that you could say a bunch of numbers and then have it magically add up to the same number in the last line of the verse or the penultimate line of the verse. Like,
it's so good.
I just feel like it doesn't matter, which is the most important thing about it. But of course, it's there. Number one, it's there, and it doesn't matter. It's taking away the art of it all by thinking that the only thing that matters is the intention of the artist. And that's why I was bringing up that thing before about death of the author. And what he's saying is intertextuality, what you're saying, Cole, where hip hop has a certain language. We're all speaking in the same way, and we've done this so many times before. So this time, it's happenstance. That's crazy. It's like it's crazy. We've all speaking the same language. It makes no sense.
This is one of the best rappers we've ever seen, like proving himself to be at top of form at age 52. Like, if he didn't have this body of work before this album, or even just this album, it's like, okay, maybe you would question it even more. But like, this is fucking Malice, guys. Like, this is the best writers we've ever seen.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that we have like a 50-year-old guy who's like half of 1 foot in the church is the best rapper in the game this year.
Crazy.
Like,
so good.
that's
So
insane.
just clearly too, and the best part about that is like, even if you try to like throw somebody else's name, like young people might try to throw other people's name. I've heard someone, like, when I posted it on Threads and it said Malice is the rapper of 2025, just to get the combo going. Everyone's comments is going crazy. People agreeing. Young people saying, nah, I think he's close, but Jid, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, the fact that he's in the conversations proves that I'm right.
Right.
The fact that if you as a little kid know a 52-year-old rapper and know his words and know that he's killing it proves that I'm correct. It's because it's like, this shouldn't be the case. It never was before, at least. I don't know about shouldn't, but it never was before.
No.
Even though Ka last year's album was crazy, it didn't get the attention that this is getting.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, have we ever seen? Because I was like, okay, what Jay-Z? How old was Jay-Z when he wrote 444? I looked it up. He was 48.
48 or something like that.
Yeah, so it's like, it's close, but I don't know. Like,
he was the same age as Pusha. That's close. I mean, it's only 4 years different.
Right.
But Jay had been doing this continuously, had never stopped, and Malice went away for a while, and I think that's a big part of this as well.
What was the gap between 444 and Jay-Z's last album?
Yeah, it was. I feel like it was kind of a return. It definitely.
It wasn't 15 years like Malice.
Well, we also discredit Malice's solo projects, like they don't exist. It's like he was rapping.
He was rapping, but even wasn't that 15 years, or like was it like 12?
Yeah, I haven't done the math on the last. Big gap. Yeah,
giant gap.
What are some of your? Let's talk about some of your favorite lines that you've been rolling around in your head.
I was just doing this one's not so much a line, but I was trying to figure out the rhyme scheme on FICO, because he's doing the double rhyme scheme throughout the whole verse. I don't know if you guys broke this down. I didn't catch the FICO breakdown, but I was actually trying to see where the beats fell, because there's something like herky jerky about it, but in terms of where each different rhyme, there's two rhymes simultaneously, and like where each rhyme would fall on the beat. And it's like there's very interesting thing where the first rhyme, I don't think it alternates, but the first rhyme, the waistline, the 2-syllable waistline, take mine, falls on beat 4 and overlaps with beat 1. So it's like it's at the turn of the measure, which is like super interesting to me. Like it fits snug on the waistline, and it's like that. So it just propels you into the next verse. That's why there's almost like this hypnotic, like just ongoing momentum to the verse, because it's like all these, at least one of the rhyme schemes is always falling on the 4 and the 1, and pushing you into the next measure, which is just on top of just being able to do that rhyme scheme for so long is just another reason why it works so fucking well. And we keep, like, I feel like with so much of this album, it's like we keep returning to like Malice's FICO verse. People are just, what is it about this fucking verse? And it's like
it's also
those are the little things.
Delivery of those lines. Like, you're right about the rhythm on those things, but he has like a natural inclination to stress words way differently and longer. And he even said that, actually. I remember that interview, longer than Pusha T does. Whereas Pusha T's, first, let's give him his credit. Like, Pusha T's went insane on this album. His flow is so liquid, like that it's crazy. And he's rapping better than he's ever rapped ever in his life on this album. And then Malice is doing something so different compared to someone that we've kind of heard him grow into this place. Because Pusha T always been this like weird Jay-Z, Biggie hybrid, right, with his flow, whereas Malice kind of was the same, but he just enunciated and delivered the words a little bit more and stressed more. And I think that's why the rhythm changes so much. Like the waistline, he always stresses it out.
Look at, I mean, even like, I mean, I'm looking at rap lyrics all day, every day, and just look at the visual of this, how it lays out. It's super odd because it's like the first line is long, second line is short, long, and it's like like one of the things I love about Malice and Pusha T, but Malice especially, is the economy of words. There's never a wasted word. It is always said. This is like technically great writing, just literature is like, Torre, you know this, like use as few words as possible to express the message. And it's like
omit needless words.
And it's like, yeah,
Definitely.
so you have I Done Seen Hercules Run, which is just perfect economy of words, but then before that you have a purposefully run-on sentence, because that's the scheme he's going with. It's like one run-on sentence, one super punchy one that only takes up half the measure, one run-on sentence, one punchy one. And it's like, that's again creating cadence, creating flow, creating like acceleration. It's like just masterful writing in terms of like, he could have just done your, you know, your simple one rhyme scheme. Like, but I feel like you've talked about this, Green.
Yeah.
It seems like each verse or each song was like a lyrical exercise in some way. Some kind of constraint was put on the verse, and then they kind of write to that constraint.
That's what makes this album so profound. And I can't stress that so much. Like, I get excited just thinking about it. The idea that find what on your writing, people don't understand how hard that is. Like, that's so hard to have a constraint and then also push your pen to be just as impactful to someone that does not have these constraints, because you're simplifying your abilities and then compacting all that within these constraints. So it's pleasing to the ear and technically amazing, and literary wise, the depth is crazy. And that's why when I read, it took me this long to be like, nah, this is the album of the decade. Y'all will catch up. Yeah, everyone will catch up, but I'm letting everyone know.
As great as Malice is, the most repeated line from the album, Yellow diamonds look like PP.
My daughters love that one for sure.
Everybody, Curtis said the same thing. My 7-year-old loves that line. I mean, that line just leaps out, and it's like so visual, and it's so the precision of luxury Coke rap that we're going to make this silly analogy, but it actually does make sense.
It's very like Kanye-esque, the old, you know, prime Kanye of like, it just makes you go like, is that corny or is that, but then it's like, okay, it's the most memorable line. Like, and Kanye was the master at that back in the day.
True.
Definitely the master at it, but it was always what you said. Is that corny?
Right.
More so than that's great. That's funny. That's great. That's funny. Whereas like, what she ordered? Fish fillet. I went so cold. That one is kind of like,
yeah, but then he said
I would have Mary Kate and Ashley. It's like
that line was dope. That line.
Of course it's dope. That line is dope, but I'm just saying, like, it gives you that little bit of like push and like, pull. Whereas I feel like Yellow Diamonds Look Like PP is just like,
and then economy of words. Like, that's the fewest amount of words to execute that sentence, and it's all right there. I was gonna ask you, Green, because I know you're like the biggest Clipse fan in the world. Is this their best album?
Oh, without a doubt. Before I was still hanging, I was hanging on to Hell Hath No Fury because I'm like full on Clipse nigga. So I was hanging on to it like, yeah, but you know, but they don't got keys open doors. Oh, this doesn't have. And then I just fell off. Like, I'm hanging. I was like, I'm sorry. This is the greatest thing they've ever made in their life.
I know. It's crazy.
Ace trumpets alone, because what happens is, I think a lot of people shared the sentiment, like, especially my boys, because we in the Clipse gang, right? We're over here sharing the song when they come out. Ace trumpets were like, this is amazing. And we're like, I hope this isn't the best of the album. It feels like this is the single, might be the best. So Be It drops. Wow. I'm actually excited about this album at a different level. Like, I've been excited about the first album. Actually, my boy who I went to the show with, who used to be my tour manager, just to go the whole story, give a little anecdote. I met this dude when he was 13. Me going to the Best Buy, he was working there to get the Clipse album, but it got delayed. The Hell Hath No Fury, and because they were having that whole label shit. So that's how we met. And thinking about that time to now and how much we've heralded this album, like from like my ability to make beats, the way I think of everything comes from that album, because I think that's the apex of being able to have your own voice when it comes to actual sound and music, right? What they did with this, they not only have Pharrell having that backdrop of the sound and music, they matched it with their cadence and style and being restricted with the verses. Because the first Hell Hath No Fury still feels like Jay-Z could have maybe came up with that or did that. Biggie could have maybe have done that. This is very unique to the Clipse, the entire album. And that's why I put it over Hell Hath No Fury and over pretty much any style of rap in this world. You know what I'm trying to say? There's not much coming at it, anyone coming at it from this space. It's new. That's what's surprising. It's fresh. It's new. And it's like, how did you do that?
Yeah, one of the things I've been returning.
Thank you to Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, yeah, right. I know the fact that this was recorded at the headquarters is just so perfect. And it's crazy. Like also like returning to those old albums and like them name dropping like Bape and Ice Cream, and it's like streetwear stuff, and then like, but like grounded in luxury. And then now just the poetic kind of metaphor of them, or the symbology of them recording this album, a perfect album at the Louis Vuitton headquarters, seeing Pharrell's ascension the past, since those early albums, and just it's all so fucking poetic, like perfect storybook ending to this career if they choose to end it here.
Oh, they're going back in.
You think so?
I mean,
guaranteed.
I mean,
I'm scared. I don't know. It's like, this is so perfect. Like, I don't
think you could ruin this experience, but this is like Fast and Furious 5. Where it reinvigorated the franchise. They're coming back. There's no way.
I appreciate that we have one producer for the album, and I always love when you can create that, and just to have a singularity of vision, the way that this is culturally inappropriate reappears throughout the album, and to me as a rhythmic device, because it's used rhythmically in different ways in different songs. And if you had 5 or 10 producers, they probably wouldn't do that, unless you told them, well, we have to do this. But like to have one guy who happens to be one of the greatest producers ever, who happens to be a close friend of yours, so the vibes are there and deep, and just, I mean, I want to talk about Pharrell a little bit and the usage, the song, the sonics of Pharrell on this, but also the usage of it's culturally inappropriate as a rhythmic device.
Well, that to me is like, to your point about it, I just don't think it would work as well on another producer's beats, because that it matches the aesthetic of Pharrell's world that he's created with this album. So just to put it on another person's beats just to make the motif kind of consistent, I don't think would have worked. It just wouldn't match. It wouldn't give it that organic, because they came up with that in the studio. It was inspired by Pharrell's beats. Like that quote, that saying was inspired by the sounds that they were hearing. So I don't know. That's part of the magic of that motif, is that it is consistent over this very concise, very polished world that they created, just instrumentals alone. And one of the things I love I've been thinking about this too, returning to the older Clipse albums, is like the dichotomy of Pharrell's just sometimes fucking weird beats. Like he makes the weirdest, like weird in the best way, but his choices are so atypical, especially on those early albums, where they're almost kind of quirky in some, like there's
Very
just a like
quirky.
And but then you have Malice, and like there's the juxtaposition of these fucking street guys with growly voices rapping the way they do over this quirkiness. There's a slight quirkiness to the beats that make it so interesting and so unique and singular. It's like we're having me and my friend Charles were having a conversation about early Eminem, and it was like we were like, what makes a great Eminem song versus like one that doesn't work so well for us? And it's like we like Eminem over the quirky beats, because it gives, when it's serious Eminem, lyrical miracle Eminem over like serious beats, it's like almost too intense, or it's just more one-dimensional. But when you have Eminem rapping aggressively over a quirky beat, there's like this weird, interesting dichotomy that I think grabs our attention. And I think
it feels satirical more when he does that.
Right. I think Clipse wouldn't be such a singular group if they're just rapping over traditional kind of grimy beats. I don't think it's as special, right? Like we need that juxtaposition to make it singular.
I 100% agree. Especially because Till Casket Drop does not have that feeling.
Right.
Yeah. It fits with the luxury feel of it all and the precision of them as lyricists and it. So wait, so let's talk about the Kendrick verse. Do you love this verse? This is not my favorite guest verse on here.
It's not mine either. And you guys know I'm the biggest Kendrick guy. It was part of it was like there was so much hype around it, and then it leaked, and I didn't listen to the leak because I don't listen to leaks. And then I heard everyone going, "Oh, he's doing the fucking gen." Like I heard about the gen thing, and I'm like, "Okay, fuck, I gotta wait. I gotta wait." So then when it finally came on, it's amazing, it's great, but it was just like, how can you build? Like, how could it live up to the hype?
Yeah.
And then Tyler comes on the next song and fucking kills it. I'm just like, that actually maybe the verse of the guest of the feature of the album.
What is your favorite feature verse, Toure?
Tyler. It's so...
And same thing with you?
I think so. I think it's close, but I think it is Tyler. Tyler just, you could tell this is a fucking lifelong. His whole life led to this fucking moment.
This moment.
Tyler's verse does sound very bright and clean, and I can hear the whole thing. And Kendrick's verse, it kind of sounds a little, like the sound of it is a little off. You know what I mean? Like it's a little dark, it's a little less sharp and clear than they are. And it just takes away from the experience for me.
Yeah, I can see that. I think because he starts with the more mellow flow, like it, but then when he gets into the gen, he starts to, pick up the pace, and I think that's where it feels like it's a little outside of what the beat's doing.
It's very dense and compact, so there's so many words.
There's just
there's so many words in Kendrick's verse.
It feels out of place on the album as a whole, where Tyler just got an A+ on the assignment. He knew exactly what a Clipse album demands of you, and he obsessed over that verse apparently until he got it right, and he got it right.
I mean, it's funny, but this Kendrick verse is central to the album in so many ways. We would have had this album a year ago, presumably.
I know, that's crazy. Yeah.
Pusha and them would be $1.5 million richer. But not
is that the number?
Make it back. I think they're good.
They'll make it back. I think we heard
they
something
already made
like
it back.
Right? It's like $1.5 million on this.
I never heard the exact number, but
to get out the deal. Didn't we hear that, Green?
I feel like we heard that somewhere. I forgot where it felt like it was actually 1.5. Because we were talking about it and then we got the number somewhere. But either way, it was that many figures. So we'll see. But a million. But then they got the money to pay that off from Rock Nation, and then they're up 8 million monthly listeners. So you're probably coming out of there with like $300,000 a month off of streams. So they'll be good in 3 months.
No, they were always good. With all the things going on. So we know that UMG has, people who sit there and listen to the rhymes to make sure that there's not going to be some legal problem coming from your, and I'm like, I'm sure that clearly that person does not deeply understand the music, right? It's not like somebody who could have been an A&R. Do you think there is a Drake sub in this?
That to me it was more like it was more retrospective. Like it seems like it was written like during the election, the Trump Biden election, because that's the whole scheme is playing off of kind of I was the winner of the beef, like kind of like part victory lap, but also like kind of like let the party die in terms of like kind of telling you why he did it without saying why he did it type of thing.
I feel like he did this in the midst of the beef too, though. That's what Pusha said, right?
Well, it's like it was post. If you look at the timeline, it was like
a year ago.
Post beef, pre GNX, during the Trump election. Essentially, was where I landed with when it was probably written.
Yeah.
Because that's why even saying I'm not the candidate.
So what do we feel about the line to directly go into that? How many Judases that let me down?
Well, I don't fuck with the kumbaya shit.
I don't fuck with the kumbaya shit. All the talent, all that talent must be God sent. I'll send your ass back to the cosmics.
My favorite line on one of my favorite lines in the entire album though is therapy showed me how to open up. It also showed me I don't give a fuck. Because it's like
an amazing line.
He writes that, you know, this is again pre-GNX, and it's like we forget that post Mr. Morale, we are so unclear where Kendrick was going in his career. Like I could have seen for me, GNX or even like the Drake battle was kind of like the last thing I was expecting after Morale. And so to him to come up, essentially turn the energy like shifted 180 to where it's like fuck healing. I'm you know, I'm gonna make these, I'm gonna give you trauma, something to heal from. And so all so all that energy is captured here in the same way that it's captured on like something like Let the Party Die.
You know what's interesting that you bringing that up?
Go ahead.
That the therapy line also, and what you said, it also relates to how it seems what Tyler went through. Tyler does this big open up therapy album about his life. And after that's like, yo, fuck that shit. I want to like lick pussy and dance.
Right.
Like, it's like, I don't like, fuck. It's like, this is too deep. It's just too deep.
That's what he really wants to do.
Huh?
As if that's what he really wants to do. That's not what he really wants to
I don't know. That he made a whole song about it.
But the whole album about it.
Yeah.
Green, you talked a lot about we don't think about the words, you think about what we want to say. But even with this Kendrick verse, this long bit with the gens, right? There's like 10. How many, Cole? 12 different?
Well, do you want my unpublished theory that's sitting in my?
Yeah, I want the unpublished. Drop it.
Yes.
Drop it here first.
I haven't published it because I don't know. I'm just like, I'm the fucking Kendrick guy, and here I come again with another conspiracy. But in my mind, like, can we agree that this is, you know, a kind of a nod to nostalgia in terms of like Gen versus 10 and playing these numbers? It feels like that, right? That was with Pusha T. Now he's coming on with Malice and Pusha T. Like, okay, so establish that. So if you look at the number of times he flips the word Gen, but before I tell you how many times he actually flips it, note that Malice opens his verse. It don't take much for me to put 2 and 2. So we have this number established as 2 and 2. Also, Clipse is a duo, so there's the 2 comes there. He starts the entire scheme. Kendrick does the Gen scheme starts with the 2-time Gemini with the genocide. So I don't know, in my mind I'm like, well, there's a correlation between Malice saying 2 and 2, Kendrick starting his Gen scheme with the 2-time Gemini. And so obviously the number 2 is also related to being a Gemini, having 2 sides. Also, the number 22, if you look it up, is considered a quote unquote lucky number to Geminis, which, you know, when you get into numerology, it gets kind of dicey in terms of like a horoscope. You know, it could apply to anything, but within the context, it's interesting that 22 is considered one of the Gemini's lucky numbers. So if you count how many times he flips Gen in the verse, it's a total of 22. So if you're looking for something that is intentional with this Gen scheme, outside of it just being this lyrical exercise playing on the Gemini, he flips it 22 times. So tying in with
he's a 2-time Gemini and he flipped Gen 2 times.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
On a Clipse album, a famous rap duo, Malice with the starting his verse, it don't take much to say 2 and 2. There's enough evidence for me.
Hold on, I got 16. I must have missed some.
Yeah, but if you count things like Jinx,
yeah, and Jenga,
Ginseng, all the ones that aren't as obviously Gen, but he's obviously Gen is in Jinx, like that's part of the scheme.
Yeah.
Trust me, I counted it like
because it would make no sense for him to say the word Jinx if it was not part of the Gen scheme. Right. And people need to kind of grasp that. It's like,
so wait, Green, this goes a little bit counter to your theory, and maybe you'll say like, well, rappers sometimes will do that, because he's clearly not saying, what do I want to say today? He's saying, I want to put in all this sound over and over and over and over. How do I do that?
Those are one and the same things, though. You're thinking about all those things at the same time. I'm not saying that you don't think about rhyming or don't think about conceptualization when you are trying to say what you're trying to say, because you wouldn't be rapping if you're not rhyming. What I'm trying to say is, like, the next word is not projecting and moving you forward in your concept and scheme. Like, you just finding, if I go, yo, I came through with the bat. Shit, let me look rhymes on what rhymes with bat. Fat. Oh no, I'm saying, I'm just making this shit up to make it up. It's like, and now I spit facts. I did not think about where I was going with everything. The rhyming word that I found is driving the direction of my bars. That's not what he's doing. He's not thinking about the rhyming word driving the direction of where his bars is going, because he's the actually antithesis of that concept, because he has a total scheme and concept that he's trying to work within. So the entire thing matters. So it's a puzzle piece. So what people don't understand is, like, you might write that whole verse, go back and be like, I need to change this part so it actually fits this part. You're writing the whole thing at the same time. Like, I had this scheme about art versus like technology or whatever in my $1 Million song, and it's like, I wrote it. I went back when I thought about shift for a $sign. Amazing bar. If I have to say so myself. When I was like, that's why I'm about to shift.
It is an amazing bar. But I love that you're like, amazing bar.
Shift for a $sign, because I remember I'm typing the rhyme and I saw that. I was like, that's fucking amazing. I had to go back and put it within the scheme. So and I already had the rhyme scheme of modern times, something all slaughter line, and all like that. I already had that rhyme scheme. So you go back into it. So he's not being driven by the word that he comes up with. He's already thought about the entire scheme. And also, to Cole's point, he's referencing probably the 10 scheme on the other song that he did with Pusha. He's probably referencing that. So you're thinking about so many things at the same time.
It's also like the constraint that we're talking about too, in terms of, like, it's the same thing as a poet saying, I want to write a poem in sonnet form or haiku or whatever. It's like, here's the constraint. I'm such a good writer that within the constraint, I can still have an organic flow and I can still say what I want to say within the constraint. I think this is why we find Malice, Push, Kendrick so fascinating, because they can do, it's layered in that way. It's like, they're not doing the obvious rhymes. They're not letting the rhyme drive what they say. They're so talented. And so at this point in their careers, they're so good at writing organically that they can place these constraints on themselves where it is a lyrical exercise, but at the same time, still say what they want to say and have fun and find different ways to say the thing they want to say within the constraint. Like this, Green, like, constraints will push innovation, like it'll force you to say things in a way that you would have said without the constraint. So I think that's what he was doing here. So beautifully and masterfully. It's kind of, and it also, like, him calling that to keep the creative juices. Yeah. Especially at this point in their careers where it's like, they can write a fucking verse in their sleep, challenge myself somewhere.
I want to look at the end of Tyler's verse, because he just goes to a whole other level at the end. My nigga Push keep dirty white moving like mosh pits. That's a really nice visual double entendre. They watching,
and true to him,
right?
True to.
Go ahead.
Oh, what I love about the mosh pits line is, like, Tyler's known to have mosh pits at his concert. He was kind of like one of the first rappers to kind of attract that side of white people. And so to me, like, even though he's referencing Push in that line, it's so true to Tyler.
I'm like,
it's how he connects himself to them too, which is beautiful.
Right. The way I pop shit, which is incredible. I need God to play the lead in my biopic. And then the beat changes a little bit. And I think some people miss, and it took me a minute to find the curse of the zeros. When you get rich, when you become the devil, the evil nigga that America's afraid of, or the sellout, the tap dancing Negro. That's what you get into when you get to be a rich, prominent Black entertainer. You have to choose between those two things. I came to terms that I'm gonna probably outgrow my heroes. Oh my God. What the fuck? Come
amazing.
The Curse of the Zeros, like we've never heard Tyler write like this. This is what I love about this verse, because he kind of took on he's kind of cosplaying Clipse in the best way. So he's never wrote a line like the Curse of the Zeros before, when you become the devil or the tap. Like he doesn't write that stuff regularly. But again, this is almost like the same conversation of like, what's the constraint of Tyler's verse? Well, I need to fit what I do. My aesthetic needs to now match. He didn't have to do this, but he chose to do this. Clearly chose to do this. Like I want to match the aesthetic of my favorite duo of all time. And so he does it. He kind of changed what he does slightly to fit this album. And that's part of the reason why I love it, because it is so seamless within the album, where Kendrick's verse stands out a little bit more.
He talks about La Ferrari doors open up like it's therapy. Like that's kind of like Yellow Diamonds look like pee-pee, not in the catchiness, but in the money brag, the thoughtful money brag. Like, you know, it doesn't matter what you say to me. As soon as those doors open up, I'm like, I feel loved and hugged and seen, and I'm good. I'm good.
It's just crazy how barred up this is. It's what you were saying, which I enjoy, is that the aesthetics are Clipse and the story or narrative is true to Tyler, which I 100% enjoy, because it's like, okay, our aesthetics is tough guy shit, luxury, and also perspective, like worldview, like actual grounded viewpoints. He takes both sides of that and is completely that, like what you said with the Curse of the Heroes and all that stuff. That's very profound. Same thing with the therapy. It's profound. But also what I like is, I'm not a tough guy. I'm a flower boy. Them bees get you stung. Oh, nah. They will buzz for me. Tricky niggas puzzle me. So you're getting tricky niggas puzzle me is that Pusha T type of flow that just comes out of that Tyler bar, where he's like, I'm not a tough guy, but I'm surrounded by these niggas that will fucking get you out of here.
Right.
And it's true to who he is, while still living in that space. I could never buy a bitch a Birkin because she fucking me. Like, like he's just fully in Clipseville. Fully in it.
Which is like this to me. This is, I mean, maybe this is a good segue into the community verse, because this is what, like, features are an art form in itself, right? And it's like, what makes a good feature? There's a lot of layers to what makes a good feature. It's not just, I mean, if you rap good enough on someone else's song, it's like, fine, that's a passable feature. But to me, the extra layer of a feature is all these things we're talking about, is meeting the theme of the song, meeting the tone of the song. If you can even meet the tone of the entire album, that's even better. And it's like, that's why I like Tyler's verse, because he's checking all the boxes of what I think is like a perfect feature verse. It's like, it's more than just rapping good. There's other elements, other dynamics that you need to hit. And I think he did it flawlessly. And that the same goes with Malice or even and Push on Community, where they're playing into the theme of the song. Malice even calls back to the beginning of the song with his final line, which I think is a detail that I just noticed this morning. And it's such a masterful feature. I was glad when Green was so obsessed with it, we started texting about it. I was like, okay, I'm not crazy. This is like this is a perfect 16 bar verse. This is one of the best verses I've ever fucking heard. Am I crazy? And then Green was going just as crazy. And so I felt better.
I mean, anyone who loves words and loves the art in that way can see that. I think Toure just heard the verse when we did the little breakdown, and he hit right away. He's like, oh, I get it. It's like, this is crazy, because you have to just submit to this is fucking insane.
I'ma get $1 million in the bank.